It's not that bad. I mean, it's not like we're brothers or anything. He certainly walked into that one. Ed Miliband!
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker. I think our sympathy is with the Deputy Prime Minister. His partner goes on a business trip, he's left waiting by the phone, and he hears nothing until a rambling phone call at 4 a.m. confessing to a terrible mistake. Now let me ask him, how is he going to pick up the pieces? How is he going to pick up the pieces of the bad deal he delivered for Britain? The Council came to conclusions on Friday morning, but the treaty is not going to be signed until March. In the cold light of day, with other countries,
some very, very foolish person shouted out, "Stop." The person who did that will stop, because people in this place must be heard. If there's a member here who doesn't think so, I invite that member to leave the chamber. Mr. Ed Miliband.
Mr. Speaker, in the cold light of day, with other countries spending the weeks and months ahead trying to see if they can get a better deal for themselves, isn't the sensible thing for him to do to re-enter the negotiations and try and get a better deal for Britain?
First of all, I make no apologies for standing up for Britain. I think in the last 2 days, we've read a lot about my opinions. We've read a lot about the Deputy Prime Minister's opinions. The one thing we don't know is what would the Right Honourable Gentleman have done. While he was here on Monday, his aides were running round the press gallery, briefing them that he wouldn't have signed up to the treaty. Well, here's another try. What's your answer?
I have no answer on this matter whatsoever for the benefit of the Prime Minister. Order! I'm glad the Minister of State has returned from his travels. We wish him a Merry Christmas, but in his case it should be a quiet one. The Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, there was a better deal for Britain that he should have got, and that is what the Deputy Prime Minister himself says, Mr. Speaker. Now, here is the truth. Last week, he made a catastrophic mistake. This week, we discover unemployment at its highest level for 17 years. Mr. Speaker, this Prime Minister thinks he's born to rule. The truth is, he's just not very good at it.
Even the soundbite was recycled from a previous PMQs. So on Wednesday, the answer was no. Today, I think the answer is maybe. This leader of the Labour Party makes weakness and indecision an art form. That is the fact. Now, he was giving me my end of term, my end of year report. Let me give him his end of year report. He told us at the start of year in his New Year's message, the fight back started in Scotland. Well, that went well, didn't it? He told us he'd have credible plans to cut the deficit. We still haven't seen them. He said he would stand up to vested interests, and yet he backed the biggest strike for years. We all know he has achieved one thing. He has completely united his party. Every single one of them has asked Santa for the same thing, a new leader for Christmas.
The House. I'm sure government backbenchers will want to hear their own colleague, Mr. Martin Vickers.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.